survivor Meg Harris.
Good evening, Spartans. My name is Meg Harris. Some of you might already be familiar with my story through my blog or even the state news. For those of you who are not familiar with it, I was diagnosed with Hodgkins Lymphoma December 27th of 2011. That day changed my life forever. The last Relay of Life I attended, I had just started my journey. I had chemo the day before, and I could only dream that one day I would be able to speak and share my survivor story. I am proud and honored to be this year's survivor speaker. I am also humbled because I realize that others' battles were harder and they fought longer than I did. There are also people that lost their battles that I wish were here with us today. I knew my journey would not be easy, but I would persevere because defeat was simply not an option. I knew I was stronger than my cancer from the beginning. Before I was diagnosed, I was just like every other 20-year-old Michigan State University student. I was having a blast and living the college dream, waking up early on Saturday mornings for football games, spending time with my best friends, and studying hard. I was on top of the world. Then Thanksgiving rolled around, and that was the first time I had been home since August. My parents immediately noticed my tumor as soon as I walked through the door. From that moment on, my life was flipped upside down. I had countless tests, ultrasounds, and biopsies done to reach my final diagnosis. Well, sure enough, on December 27th, 2011, my mom received a phone call stating that I had Hodgkins Lymphoma stage 2B. When my mom told me I had cancer, I did cry. I cried when she told me that her and the doctor thought I should take the semester off. I told her that she could not take me away from East Lansing. Although my parents were a little reluctant, they respected my wishes and I returned spring semester of my sophomore year. Upon my arrival, I made a promise to myself. I would live my life as though I did not have cancer and remain as positive as I possibly could. I knew that living in the Pi Beta Phi sorority house would be the best thing for me. If I stayed at home, cancer would have got the best of me. I was 20 years old and I was not willing to watch my life go before my eyes. Living in Pi Phi was the best because of its upbeat atmosphere. I didn't feel sorry for myself, so why should anyone else? I actually felt bad for my tumor, who friends and I named Barb. She obviously chose the wrong girl. Initially, I was enrolled in 16 credits. It's cute how ambitious I was. I was trying to be a full-time student, but quickly figured out that I was a full-time cancer patient. I took 4 credits so I could remain a student. So many things needed to happen before I could begin the chemotherapy. I had a Medaport surgery, pulmonary function test, echocardiogram, a visit to the fertility doctor, and was put on steroids along with popping many other pills. I even got radiation tattoos. My radiation oncologist told me that I was about a week away from my death when he first met me because my tumor was 18 centimeters and had grown 5 centimeters in less than a month. My trachea was pinched and completely out of alignment. It was life-threatening. I went through 12 treatments of chemotherapy and 30 treatments of radiation therapy. During the 18 months I battled, I relapsed twice. From the start, I was determined that I would learn more from my cancer than it would ever take from me. The side effects have given me numb, tingly fingers, heartburn, muscle pain, mouth sores, insomnia, hot flashes, and metal mouth. Although the side effects from treatment were not so glamorous, I learned not to sweat the small stuff. I was a sassy 20-year-old girl who danced to the beat of her own drum. I learned how to turn everything in life into a positive. I became a stronger person because of cancer. I went to chemo from January to July. Sometimes my friends and I would even get into trouble for playing music too loud. I actually looked forward to going to chemo and radiation. It was my time to fight my life and take cancer down. Once I graduated chemo, I moved over to the radiation side of the cancer center. That summer, I balanced 10 credits, an internship, while undergoing chemo and radiation. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty devastated that I relapsed, which is why I go to radiation. Radiation was every day, Monday through Friday. I am so thankful that I went through radiation because I've met my friend Wendy. She was everything that I needed at that hard time, full of life and a true joy to be around. She had been going to radiation for 2 months. That's when I realized I was fortunate. On Wendy's last day of radiation, I remember how full the waiting room was. She was surrounded by loved ones. She always was so happy, and her husband told me that she had dinner on the table every night. I don't know how she found the energy, but she was a real source of inspiration. After she graduated, I missed the high fives and the tailgating talks. She came back and surprised me on graduation day with a dozen red roses. I always wanted to be somebody else's Wendy, but unfortunately, everyone kept to themselves. After a negative PET scan in the fall, I relapsed once again and went through yet another round of radiation Christmas break. I met 2 ladies that needed a positive outlook on life. This was my opportunity to be someone else's Wendy. Having cancer can be very lonely. There are not a lot of people in this world who truly know what you are going through. That's why a strong support system is so important. If you know someone who's fighting cancer, reach out a hand. It will mean a lot to them. I personally could not have beaten cancer without the love and support from my friends, family, caretakers, and community. No matter the obstacle, we can all relate. Always remember to trust your journey and don't ever hesitate to be someone else's Wendy. Tonight, think about why you relay. I want to thank everyone for all their efforts fundraising for the American Cancer Society. Survivors, I can't wait to take that well-deserved victory lap. American Cancer Society has this thing about celebrating birthdays. Well, on May 2nd, I will celebrate my first birthday being cancer-free, and I will be returning to the Breslin to graduate with my class. Thanks.